Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical idea for our energy future. It's all centered around a company called OpenGrid. And their argument is simple. Our current system is about to hit a massive wall. The only way forward? We have to completely rethink how we create, move, and even sell power. So let's get into it.
Everything kicks off with this really powerful concept, an energy singularity. So what does that even mean? Well, it's the tipping point. The moment where the cost of stuff like solar panels and batteries drops so low, and at the same time the cost of energy from the grid gets so high that it suddenly makes perfect financial sense to turn every single building into its own mini power plant. And believe me, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. We're talking 5, maybe 10 years away.
But here's the thing. This singularity isn't just some cool opportunity. It's an absolute necessity. Why? Because we are heading straight for a massive, massive energy shortage.
Okay, look at this number, 1,000 gigawatts. Let that sink in for a second. That's how much extra power just the big tech giants, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, are going to need by 2032, all just to power their data centers and their huge AI ambitions.
And this chart, wow, it just lays the problem bare. That demand for 1,000 gigawatts totally dwarfs our ability to build new power plants the old-fashioned way. I mean, the most power the US has ever added in a single year is 58 gigawatts. You see that gap on the screen? It's not a gap, it's a chasm. There is no way traditional power generation can keep up. No way.
So what's the answer? If we can't build our way out of this problem the old way, the solution has to come from somewhere else. It has to come from distributed energy. We've got to start tapping into all the hidden power potential in countless smaller sources that are all around us. Okay, so distributed energy is the future. Great. But the first attempts at organizing all of this? Well, they're already showing some pretty major flaws. Let's take a look at why today's solutions just aren't cutting it. So you need to know this term, virtual power plant, or VPP. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like an Airbnb for extra energy. It's a system that goes around and gathers up all the surplus power from thousands of different places. These are called distributed energy resources, or DERs. Things like a factory's backup generator or a school's solar panels. And it bundles all that power together to sell back to the grid. But here's the problem. The first companies jumping into this space, they're just going after the low-hanging fruit. They're targeting big, easy commercial properties, and pretty much just moving numbers around on a spreadsheet to sell that power to data centers. There's not a lot of real, game-changing innovation happening, and that's creating a serious issue.
And that issue is all about equity. Right now, the focus is only on these major commercial hubs that are inside what's called an independent system operator, or ISO, basically regions with already organized energy markets. That means entire chunks of the country, huge areas that don't have one, are just getting left behind. The US Southeast, for example, is especially at risk because its grids are often locked down by single powerful companies. So this whole model ends up concentrating wealth and energy access in just a few places, leaving a lot of communities completely in the dark.
Okay, so this is where OpenGrid comes into the picture. They're proposing something totally different, an open marketplace that's built from the ground up to solve both the innovation problem and that big equity problem. And the way it works is actually beautiful in its simplicity. So, let's say you're a university with solar panels. You just onboard your asset onto the OpenGrid platform. Then, the platform's tech intelligently matches you with the best virtual power plant for what you've got. OpenGrid takes care of all the headaches, the complex contracts, the logistical friction, and the university just sells its extra power and gets paid. It really is that straightforward.
And the financial opportunity here? It's huge. Just on the supply side, just connecting these energy producers to the grid, that market is worth about $24 billion a year. OpenGrid's initial goal is to grab just 1% of that in the first 18 months. And based on a simple 2.5% fee, that would bring in about $7 million in revenue.
But here's what makes OpenGrid really, truly different. It's not just their business model. It's their mission. It's how they're going to market by putting equity at the absolute heart of their business.
So where do they start? Not in the big, flashy commercial hubs. Nope. They're starting in the US Southeast, the exact region that's being left behind by everyone else. And their very first partners on the supply side? A collection of historically Black colleges and universities. They are literally turning a historically underserved community into the foundation of a new and much more equitable energy future.
This right here is their core philosophy. They want to completely flip on its head the way current VPPs are doing business.
Instead of just extracting value from the easiest places, they're starting where the need is the greatest. They're building a movement, a critical mass, by empowering these communities from day one.
And this is just the beginning. I mean, their long-term vision is so much bigger. They want to become the fundamental operating system for this entire new energy economy.
And their roadmap to get there is crystal clear. Phase 1 is what we've been talking about, building that supply-side marketplace with partners like HBCUs. Next, in Phase 2, they'll open it up to the demand side and bring other VPPs onto the platform. After that, they'll use all the data they've gathered to build their own super-efficient VPPs. And the final step? Launching the go-to management platform for the entire industry, a DERM, a Distributed Energy Resource Management System. The whole shebang.
So what's their secret sauce? Well, it really boils down to this. Suppliers can get onboarded the very same day. They can get to scale immediately without getting stuck in endless contract talks. Because they own the rails, they can guarantee the best fit for everyone in the marketplace. And maybe most important of all, this gives them this incredible, unparalleled view of what's actually happening on the ground, data that informs every single move they make.
Which leads us with this final, really powerful question. You see, OpenGrid isn't just about new tech or new markets, it's about a fundamental shift in where power comes from, both literally and figuratively. It suggests that the answer to our enormous energy crisis might not be a few giant, faraway power plants, but instead it might be hiding in the untapped potential of our own communities. So what if your school, your factory, your town, what if you could help power the future?